I've been responsible initially for setting up this Green Business Center with the cooperation of the state government at the time, Chandrababu Naidu, and the Shorabji Godrej Foundation. This is the Center for Green Businesses and Climate Studies in the private sector. What we have done is we have been always working with the state government and also with industry to try and reduce what we call the energy consumption pattern and the carbon footprints. How can you continue to live the way you're doing and live better, but still consume less energy and maintain the greenness of the forests or the trees or whatever? So we have done a dramatic work in this, especially when it comes to what we call green buildings and green factories. India, thanks to us, India now is number 2 in the world after the US in having the largest number of new buildings coming up that meet what they call green building standards, which means a saving of about 40% of energy from a normal building. So this is becoming a big thing there. Government of India has, as you know, has been involved in this international negotiations for prevent the deleterious effects of climate change. Because India, being a semi-arid country with the ocean on 2 major sides, is going to be one of the major affected countries. And unfortunately, the major effect in India is going to be in states like Andhra Pradesh, because we already are a semi-arid area, not a high moisture area, and we have a huge coastline of 928 kilometers. So all along the coastline, we're going to have a major impact, plus in the plateau areas because of lack of moisture. So this whole conference is to try and educate as many people as possible on what is the possible impacts of climate change and what the international community, what the central government and what the state government, what steps they're taking or proposing to take, and what can we as individuals or as organizations can take to reduce the impact of climate change. Now this is actually the first of its kind in South India, and hopefully they'll be held in Bangalore, Chennai, Trivandrum, etc., and in the other regions of the country. Eventually the 35 or 34 states and union territories we have, they should have a similar activity happening everywhere, and hopefully there'll be a much more knowledgeable public at that time. One good thing is that Andhra Pradesh is one of the few states that has taken this very seriously, and they have taken governmental task forces, one on energy efficiency, to try and ameliorate the consequences of climate change. I think the Chief Secretary is in charge of that committee, and CI is a major member of that. The thing we need to understand is that all of us are going to be impacted. It's not only the rich people or the poor people in the coast or whatever. All of us in Andhra Pradesh are going to feel the effects one way or the other. And therefore, unless we do each one does his own bit, a large industry will do much more than a small farmer in coastal Andhra will do. But this is essentially that you have to do. You have to reduce energy consumption by using better technologies, better equipment. You have to change your processes to consume less energy to produce whatever you're doing. Luckily, in Andhra Pradesh, cement plants and paper plants are the most efficient energy users in the world. It is acknowledged already that they have to learn from us. There's no reason why other sectors can also do this for us. I already mentioned about the green buildings. Now the state government has come up with the additional subsidy of 20% to the central government's 30% subsidy for solar power. Hopefully that it should become a reasonable so that most people can meet part of their consumption from their own solar power. And if you can do a little bit more help, the farmers who are now getting free power, and that too only at night most of the time, if they can somehow be made economically viable to have solar power for the irrigation wells in Andhra Pradesh, the farmers will be extremely happy, and there will be enormous savings to the grid from line losses, theft, whatever it is. And obviously the government would gain because there will be no subsidy required because it will come through solar power. There's a lot of ways. Transport engines should be more efficient, which they are. Luckily, they are now BS4, which is far more efficient than whatever. But they're still not as efficient as they are elsewhere in the world. Electric vehicles, this can also be a method. But one thing which people really need to understand is the importance of trees and green cover. This is one area where Andhra Pradesh should hang its head in shame. We have lost more forest cover in Andhra Pradesh than any other state in the last 4 or 5 years. The next state after Andhra Pradesh has lost less than what we have lost in Andhra Pradesh. People don't realize that the forests are essential for rainfall, for protection of the soil, for protection of bees and insects that come and pollinate your crops. The crops that are near forests always have better yields. Once you lose your bees and your things, you won't have pollination, so you lose the yields of your crops. Your lakes and your ponds will fill up because the soil will erode. The rainfall will drop, therefore you don't have the continuous rains which you used to have. Plus, you won't be able to get the benefit of forest produce, which a lot of people who live in the forest, genuine forest tribals, used to depend upon. So now you're going to force those people to migrate out of their natural habitats into unfamiliar urban habitats with probably not enough skills to survive in urban habitat. So it's an issue that needs to be understood by the public, and we must do our best to protect the forests and increase the green cover, not only the rural areas, but in the towns. As I keep saying, look at Hyderabad or Bangalore 50 years ago and what they are now. We have this huge, massive development in Gachibolis and coming up, and tell me of one single park that is there. Not one park has been left in that huge area. Only thing left is the forest at Kondapur and whatever. There's an old forest ground, but not one single park has been left in this thousands and lakhs of acres you have developed. That tells you about our city planning and our understanding. So let's hope we don't repeat this again.